nfa tie enche bia no
do boni ache
na me ankasa me bra penyi Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Yes.
Na on Central University, any other universities. Emma economic lectures. Efa Yagana Abrabe Munsem. Enche biano. Na minua penyi. Na wachro exam questions. 171 questions. Ena odiakoma openi Vice President, how do you call it?
Mr.
Mr.
The late
Vice President. So as a Vice President, ye saw 171 questions no, and we are. Answers now or the Bemano would fix the problem of this country, the vacillating nature of our currency, the measured growth rate, and employment. Until Okani, until 171 questions. And ne position na Amissah ata ewono. That is the position the Vice President is in today. Into questions now ono ankasa oseti yano. This is the time for you as the Chief Examiner to answer the questions. Nka o answer those questions pe. We should not be having the depreciation of the currency. Inflation should not be going up. Growth should be accompanied by development, not growth in isolation and development is growing down. Unemployment, no, ya address it.
Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
You were for a PENDREAM TV in Pacho. When you say the news not off from an eddy bro. News ya ubabeti in Pacho. So what when one drink Trebia and also what drink Trefa. News via I present your platform where you saw for your voice note not for sending it. I was 0277 128 The debate 2 PENDREAM FM so Magana for Ninati Onka. Yanko Nyanko T and a story I did bro.
Bernard, what's unia the analysis so ya for economy who say see the no best stabilize man crofo to become $4 and they said what can na mamiti wo so the finance minister kan and no so na dwen tro dia ba and they said also who no fa
medas ma
politics
menua chum barema and Carlos Ahenkra or say 3 weeks near one bahanti.
Akoya juma.
Wako school I see wakoya juma.
My school for 3 weeks. We don't know how many years.
1 man 38 minutes.
That is at time. Is that
1 man 38 minutes.
Yes, Bernard Kasa. Why? Because on our ben say to manage church and see money ton crofa.
David on church dem.
No, we should church.
Ni oye no na ya ode. Be na o church dem. Dear no church mu. But ye ona nkasa ye confused. Because onim baby I say on fan sem no nfa. Tie. Enche bia no.
Do boni ache
na me ankasa me bra penyi. Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Yes.
Na on Central University, any other universities. Emma economic lectures. Efa Yagana Abrabe Munsem. Enche biano. Na minua penyi. Na wachro exam questions. 171 questions. Ena odiakoma openi Vice President. How do you call it?
Mr.
The late Vice President. So as a Vice President, ye saw 171 questions no, and we are. Answers now or the Bemano would fix the problem of this country, the vacillating nature of our currency, the measured growth rate, and employment. Until Okani, until 171 questions. And ne position na Amissah ata ewono. That is the position the Vice President is in today. Into questions now ono ankasa oseti yano. This is the time for you as the Chief Examiner to answer the questions. answer those questions, we should not be having the depreciation of the currency. Inflation should not be going up. Growth should be accompanied by development, not growth in isolation and development is growing down. Unemployment, you address it. But those 71 questions are still with my brother, His Excellency Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. What is he doing with the questions? He should provide the answers and let's find solution to the problems of this country. Na se wanye sa na minuya Carlos abetina TV so. Na oka say the rate of depreciation of our currency is 14%. What do you say? Till say you were memo. Just last month, April, the dollar was around 12 cedis to your friend is saying to a dollar.
Yeah, 12 cedis to a dollar. Exactly, yeah.
And when you have 100,000 Ghana cedis, naturally say you could get $8,000. And yes, sir, if you had 100,000 Ghana cedis, you could get $8,000. Into what time 100,000 Ghana cedis? Edi akoto nyama. Nyama no so a okoto buy no. The rate of your friend is saying turnover is very low. The sales is very low. Into ebi mo abeto ewo credit. Into omo beto no, you bought it at that price. Be nowadays some 2 cedis edi atoso. That is your profit margin. Only 2 cedis edi akahono. In less than 3 months, in less than a month, dollar no, I could do 15 cedis.
I'm sorry, I crowd up at 10 o'clock about 15.5.
Into 1 year dollar at 15 cedis to $1. What that means, me say, 8,000 now you used to get from 100,000 Ghana cedis. Say, I done 5,000 or less. But all sign a koto near manibium. You were buying maybe 20 cartons of a product. Sisiano, near Oton ya, or Mudika, or mobile betriano, or Monka said dollar no buako surunti, now Oton my 14 cedis. Into Yebano, Yebabetria 17 cedis. So that you yes, sir. So say, oh, ye businessman. Now, what tongue, Niama on credit. Answer no mobile betriano, you have run at a loss. Your capital is dissipated. Capital no is dissipated. And no neye reality. Edema many Ghanaian businesses into say Oko Jom Sesia. You see that shop temporarily close. Because Omukotoba, Omonton we no. They are already running at a loss and their money is finishing. Abra omo ye no say no, na appointees of government. Omo de sika bia omo nya na omo convert it into dollars, into pounds and other things. No omo de share omo pass. So when government appointees are starting money in dollars, you expect then the minister comes to say don't rush to go and buy dollars. The test case of Cecilia Dapa say Yesika, go and put it under your bed. In 2021, sorry, na dollar to a cedi na yeseng about 6 cedis to $1. Now say over say $5 million because $1 million no movie aye. That is what is in court. Now ni omu aye no we don't know. So I'm assuming that it's more. Until be a $5 million. At that time, no, your 5 million, or let me just take the $1 million, no, movie, no. $1 million, no, movie, no, would be the equivalent of 6 million Ghana cedis. Say, see, a $1 na nyeshi, no, sikano eda on pass, no, you'll be getting 15 million cedis plus. I hope you understand my analysis. Se si asika no enye ejuma bia no dollar keke ena wato ena odi atom odi ahye on pass no, you will be getting 50 million cedis. That is the reason why appointees of Nanado are stashing monies in dollars under their beds. And it's a minister for finance. Epe baby the dollar is. Tell Mr. President to authorize his appointees to release the dollars to the banking sector. That way, the banks will have the money. Na se nipa epe dollar na omotimi akonya bi.
Nto susu se sa sikasem ya dollar ye ho akwa atwe no. Nye so wa chirechire mu se COVID and Ukraine man pani abede chire kra kan sem some time back. Won so kan source or the questions bi koma former the late Amissah. But brofo ba kwama for tade kapani say when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. Ma penebe de chase some lectures bi na nche anzansen ya ama ne kasa fa sa sam kro no aho ma yentie de tia wana fe to wasam no so na emwa ye submissions.
Image of law ya ma disciplinary.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that I stated in 2014 that if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. That was true then, and it is true now. It is 100% correct. So if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. But it is warped logic to jump from that to a conclusion that if there is depreciation in their currency, then the fundamentals must be weak. Do you understand the logic? It is very warped logic. If the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. But if the exchange rate moves, you cannot jump to that conclusion that the fundamentals are weak. That defies logic. Ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that I stated in 2014 that if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. That was true then, and it is true now. It is 100% correct. So if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. But it is warped logic to jump from that to a conclusion that if there is depreciation in their currency, then the fundamentals must be weak. Do you understand the logic? It is very warped logic. If the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. But if the exchange rate moves, you cannot jump to that conclusion that the fundamentals are weak. That defies logic.
Okay, when I say my pembe de chita hall meeting a course so and an person to me the questions no be say no say I be twa buko no kind say so sanity no a warped logic but focus mood pa but na meeting na wanu bu so akasa
mo me mo me njire
Njeri me say was na what boys when no problem.
First and foremost, so time video no kakra.
o video kakra dey
Oh ma ade.
Okay,
o kasa no na meti studio.
You we dey kasa.
Na se o video no a time na obeka say the exchange rate is weak. It means that the fundamentals are weak. It is warped logic to think that depreciation of the currency means the fundamentals are weak. Jan Bafo Nini. Just the posturing of the people sitting, the economic management team now on it now on multi high table no. Share omoinim. Share your friend is saying Carlos and Krasa na that time no your deputy minister. Share the minister Alan Chirimantin. Alan Chirimantin dani neti say. So evidently now what logic no was referring to the man who was making that pronouncement.
Which man?
Clearly, you say that what is depreciation of the cedi? Is that not exchange rate volatility? So So when the exchange rate is not stable and is vacillating, we call it depreciation of the cedi. You can choose that as exchange rate volatility. Until you have used the same word, but you substituted this time by using depreciation. Now, what are the fundamentals of the Ghanaian economy? A raw material-led economy. An economy that does not own the means of production. An economy that is largely dependent on imports. Those constitute the fundamentals of the economy. Until you don't control the means of production in your country. Today, as we speak, under the Bawumia Akufo-Addo regime, nobody controls the means of production. Enunti ena utimika say GDP epeja, gross domestic product epeja. But as soon as that GDP is created, it's gone away. And I keep saying that those who own that GDP, omonya omosika no, now you calculate it as your part of the money generated in your country, no. No mafa edi ashe bag mu. Edi atu omochi. Omuni nam Australia no mo bo golf. Na ye ti ha. Na comedy yan. Na ye ti ha ye ni adwuma.
So 1D1F for okay about 300 1D1F and yeah bibia.
Who owns 1D1F? That who owns 1D1F?
Okay, Ekujus.
Me say who owns it? I'm talking about not owning the means of production. Who owns it? Kwame Nkrumah established factories now Mobeton, you know. They were owned by the state of Ghana.
One of the Tony.
They were owned by the state of Ghana. Tell me who owns it. You wasted our money. See what you're saying? So clearly, the fundamentals are now even weaker. Tio Minia Carlos, if at this time we are not servicing our debts, so sir.
Yeah.
At this time, most contracts have been suspended. And contracts now are suspended. No? They have now created a death path at the Amayang Obichebi circle. So nimniaye contractor asizi ejuma drainages no ya ntimi an ye oni ye nti bibia da ho nso kitua bia etoye no. The whole place has been flooded from that place to Circle to Kaneshi to Accra. Because contractor no yesi nti contractor kwatinase. Se ukofa Junction Mall Teshi e dey ba all the way to Accra ebedu Labadi Beach onmuna. The contract has been stalled. No single job no single work is being done on that job. Oma ye Ghana juma 30 years, ebimo 40 years. Oma bre ama oma Ghana. Omo sika kakra oma anya. Omo se ye dey kwa koto government securities. Eno na aye assured. The whole world government securities are the assured investment. And yes sir. Se si ano mo yomuti kole. Sika na aye omo dia no. Muntimi ntua omoka omo ba beje omo sika, you give them at a discounted rate. So you are not paying them. In the face of not paying them, no, you are still having an escalation in the inflation of your currency. Na yetiho. Now see, if the fundamentals are weak, it's warped logic to say that the depreciation of the currency means that the fundamentals are weak. Which fundamentals have you changed?
So say warped.
Me say which fundamentals have been changed? That Ghana is not import driven, that we don't export raw material, that we don't own the means of production. So if these constitute the structure of an economy, you don't own that economy. Remember example I had beside. Go to the telecom industry. In the telecom industry, no, sure, all the telcos are not owned by Ghana. Yeah, I am one of the weak users of your friend said data and voice. But in a day, I spend up to 50 cedis. In Timefan say the average Ghanaian spends 50 cedis on voice and data a day. Now you were 20 million subscribers. So multiply 50 by 20 million. How much do the mobile phone service providers earn in a day? 20 million times 50. That is the amount of money that is calculated every day as part of your GDP. But you sit here and calculate that as GDP has grown, yet economic development is decaying. To constantly use GDP as a reference point of the health of your economy when you don't own it. Look, we sold Ghana Airways. Was planes a name for so and yes sir. Ne ya kope besia. E di abesi plane park. Airports. So the planes will come from Togo, from Benin, to come and land in our airports. President Akufo-Addo was in Kumasi, commissioned an uncompleted airport.
International airport.
What is uncompleted about it?
Right.
What is uncompleted about
No
it?
movie.
Are you using it?
No movie.
The whole airport maybe. Is it being used?
Yes.
Who is going there?
I don't want to use you.
One. Yeah, the use.
Yes, you are there.
So play number two and even go away.
Okay.
I'm on floor.
But it's completed. Why?
What you say?
Commercial airport completed.
Yes.
100% completed.
It is finished. The point is on. You people are you see
Kumasi International Airport.
You are refusing to realize what more operating aircraft on and the private people would have to choose where they want to go. And let me know who can say Ethiopia Airlines, Egypt Airlines. Almost started a year. Your friend is saying advert had to come.
So I'm saying into Kumasi International Airport 200% completed.
Then go your commission.
Thank you.
Once it is commissioned, it can be used.
Kwabena.
What do you say? Egypt Amissah. Why do you want to even go do that mathematics? Egypt Amissah. The first international flight about Amissah. What do you say?
100% completed. And I'm saying 100% completed.
Whether 100 or 97% completed. It's the first international flight that makes you work. I'm a possible so much That's the most important thing. That's some crazy.
The construction of anything, you test run it, you use it, and then come and commission. You just don't build. You have not used it. You have not checked the efficacy and functioning of the facilities there. Then come and stand. No more the ribbon at all. Now, now say I have commissioned.
Why are you speculating? And you wouldn't answer saying
give me one international flight that landed there.
Egypt Air.
Before.
Yes.
Egypt Air.
Before the commissioning.
Before the commissioning.
Egypt Air. Someone like former Bobo Kumasano. The Egypt Air flight of Chataba and the whole Egypt.
Okay.
I'm telling you, if you like, I can show you the video. The runway would have to be international flight before
the commissioning or after the commissioning?
Before the commission, long before the commission.
Long before?
Yes.
Okay.
Before we video nature one. It was a way in
April.
So clearly there was no test running of the facility.
That is very, very speculative. Very, very speculative.
Papa no.
Yeah, get this. Okay, over my head near brow.
A happy person near how about I join you. No, A4 paper. We are
slender one.
Clearly, we did not do these things. And Americano, you sell your airways, now go and borrow money, come and build airports for people's planes to come and land. So you owe. It doesn't make sense. Minister, say we will not rush to go and buy dollars. But some of you And those of you appointed by President Akufo-Addo, you have rushed and you have bought the dollars and the pounds and what have you. They are under your bedrooms. Can you allow those things to be released?
Where is serious allegation now, you know?
Can you imagine?
Allegation for who? Say, more discount, more than 30% say dollar no one quite, you know. I buy move for now, $100 $90.
Now, where's so a speculation?
It is.
Where's so you speculating?
I didn't know.
Yeah, you are busy on no one is going to go to the Zigaya.
After the BSc. Even see that.
Is he when
Obi wa be mo de 3 million ko to dying nenu ama ni ra de tari kai wa ka so
dying de gunu pass on
every pass ko ba ko to as you try check your vesca so if you pass ko ba
that was not me
ba interjection
oh yeah de
$3 million cash
but to me et na cinema kasa na kasa
go kasa la wo kani na no NDC kasa dum kwa
how can me person me be o mampanyi
o na we na wo kasa be NDC.
How am I talking for NDC?
Because what you are saying, and okay, no, okay, it's the first time, Obi this guy was sharing passing. Obi the sharing passing got to dime you. I'm a new runner. David. Rollins the kind.
David. Near all cano, and say, AC Daninti,
no, it's not justifiable. No, that's not what it is.
So what I'm saying, so what again should I say?
What you are saying, don't say that. So see
nunti na Ghana bufu ye na omotoma mo say don't come and do the things that happened yesteryears. Na ene the justification for niamo ye boni amoye no ne say esi ye man kahwe ana and how is that
nobody is justifying that. And everybody has so me myself I've sat here and I condemn that, you know that.
But what did you just do now?
What I do is say, oh, Chabodi and West. Body and West. In Sankara, when you plant yam, you plant kukuya.
No.
No.
You plant beans.
You plant beans.
Dollar no, it's not contained by just the minister saying that stop rushing for dollars. What do we import? Governor, Unim say we import everything second hand in this country. Toothpick, second hand yedeba.
Second hand toothpick.
Empire yeda, second hand yedeba. Television, second hand yedeba.
Almost everything.
Everything apart from toilet paper. And also second hand niho. Otherwise we'll still be importing toilet paper as second hand. Now, when you have such an avarice, voluptuous appetite,
and you're right,
for imported goods, even in their third hand, how do you expect that your currency can be stable? Eduane ayebedi. We import the food. Eduane agana ha onam na o wi nkatie krampo na eto forma. In 2 days, 3 days obano na nkatie no enyi. We still go and buy and import it. Those are the challenges. That is the fundamentals that we are talking about. You are not in charge of the fundamentals of your economy. So don't come and tell us to stop rushing for dollars. In any case, the banking system is what the traders used to go and buy. Except Omwa, they can carry money to Lagos, to Benin and to Togo. But most of them, they use the banking system. But the dollar is not in the bank. Eshamon passe.
Story OTCC a platform my friend PENDREAM TV and I uti story no na o feedback we here and story our no any story be our platform no so be our tia o pese o my feedback no fafa WhatsApp message or WhatsApp number 0277128777 na yebebo e wo PENDREAM FM Ghana for nyina ate won ka
David Kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase na so far so good say open online portal e wo Ghana nipa share nipa follow nipa comment here to my best of knowledge without any biases PENDREAM TV